Game on, everybody! Porc9 just took down the Clowns, and now they go up against Laubers Fanclub. Our Laubers Fanclub, formerly known as Granit Gaming, but they split from the organization pretty recently, actually. I think like 1 or 2 weeks ago. So now they went back to their old name, Laubers Fanclub. And the Fanclub, so far, has been doing pretty well. It's the exact same team that we had before. Again, the ban against Samuro, and if you watch the series that Porc9 played against the Clowns, that ban should be pretty familiar to you, because everybody wants to make sure that Monkey doesn't have access to Samuro. Samuro is a massive nuisance, and, well, Monkey is pretty good on the hero, and if he has a team that can play around it nicely, then you kind of don't want to go up against that. So Samuro gets banned out, as usual. We are on Battlefield of Eternity in our 3-mapper here. Well, hopefully a 3-mapper, let's put it like that. It's the best of 3 series. If we're lucky, we get another 3 maps, but Fanclub would obviously like to close this out a little bit quicker. Zarya actually gets banned. Alright, with Swamgrota on the other side, that's probably a decent ban. This is an interesting thing, because obviously Swamgrota and Fury played for Granit Gaming, aka Laubers Fanclub, previously. And they split at the beginning of the second HeroesHype Premier season. Instead, Chris and Copenhagen joined the team. But obviously these guys know each other quite well. And in the times of Swamgrota being part of Granit Gaming, they played a lot with Zarya and the speed barrier plus Garrosh, so that they could get easy flips from Garrosh, plus also the boost for Vala if you wanted to play with a Vala setup. So there's a little bit that actually moves into this. So we have Zeratul banned out against Tai. If you have watched Granit Gaming or the Fanclub at any point, then you know that Tai is pretty much a monster on this one. Lauber goes straight into his ETC, which allows them to still play ETC on a main tank or a side tank position, but on this map, ETC is just super powerful. Can get an easy stun into an immortal stun if you play your cards right, have a good power slide, and that helps a lot. Chen, then again, at the top lane. We're having Fury on Rhaegar once more, as we've seen in the previous games. And this could be a pretty cool series. I mean, this could be really nice. The Fanclub is the go-to team these days. I mean, they are just killing it. They're absolutely dominant. And it's going to be tough to take them out. But there are a lot of good players on the side of Porc9. And if they bring their A game, they have a realistic chance here. So Tai with Li Ming this time. We're having Malfurion, played by Henning in this game. And let's see what else we are gonna get from them. I mean, for now, I'm really just like interested in what the next bans are gonna be, especially since there's a chance for the Fanclub to ban out the frontliner if they really want to shut Mopsio's options down a little bit. Tracer gets actually banned against the Fanclub. There's obviously still the chance. I mean, Chris would love to play with Vala. I think a Vala ban might not be a bad thing for Porc9 right now, because if Chris gets his Vala, I don't really think that that's going to happen. I think Vala is going to be taken right now on the red team side. If not, then Chris is going to be more than happy to lock her in. But it's a pretty beastly lineup that Porc9 has. They have a wolf and they have a panda. The cow has already been taken on the other hand, so that's unfortunate. Jojo and Vala. There we go. Alright, Mopsio's Johanna. That doesn't come as a surprise. Vala, just talked about it. And what are we going to get for the side lane against Chen? And what are we going to see for Chris, who's obviously playing with his Pepica account here again. His Chromia has been banned. Tracer has been taken away from him. Vala has been eliminated. Could still see, I mean, we could still see them swap it, by the way. Okay, he goes for Sylvanas, which is also quite nice. They could have swapped Li Ming over into Chris' hands and give Tai something like Greymane, for example. Copenhagen on Leo. And last but not least, on Battlefield of Eternity, Porc9. What are we going to have for Monkey? They already, well, they could still get something for Swamgrota and switch Chen into Monkey's hands, unless they want to play with a triple frontline here. We've seen them with a bit of Alarak play in the previous games, so there's options that they have available. But the last pick is Jaina. Alright, burst damage. Burst damage after a blessed shield, after a bit of lockdown from Rhaegar. And ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 in the best of 3 series, right here at the HeroesHype Premier Series on Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 1 on Battlefield of Eternity. Over to the left side, Henning on Malfurion for the Fanclub. Chris on Sylvanas, Lauber on ETC. tie on Liming, and we have Copenhagen on Leoric. Over to the right side, though, we're seeing the red team, Porc9 with Svampgrotta on Jaina. We're currently having Shirionto on Vala, Monkey on Rhaegar, Fury on Chen, and Mopsio on Johanna. Alright, time to shine and see what the boys can pull off here. Arrow build for Vala on this map, not a surprise. Obviously a lot of value against the Immortal. And we're also seeing the Laws of Hope over Hold Your Ground for Johanna. Again, both talents totally viable. A little bit of a different play style, a little bit of a different objective or goal that you have with the two of them, but both of them very strong. Now we're also seeing the Prog Rock taken on a level 1. We're having Might of the Banshee Queen in play. And as usual, our foremen at the bottom of the map, as Chen and Leo, are both having some fun together at the top. Lockdown, and Mopsio is in trouble, but dodges out on Liming's damaged high, not able to deliver the final blow to secure the kill here. Alrighty. So, with that, the immediate move back. I mean, Jojo realizing, alright, I need some hit points, I need some mana here. This is not going to work well for me. It's interesting to also have Monkey on the support role this time. It feels like Fury just called dibs on Chen. Goes straight in for that. Outside of it, we have Celestial Alignment now also for Malfurion. And it's time for the first camp to be taken. It seems like with Lauber, just pushing them out and having a bit of whip there. Seeing the first one in their hands. So now they can make the rotation with one hero towards the top to make sure that they get the second camp. And this brings us back to one of the biggest strengths of the fan club. Their ability to just dominate on camp control. Incredibly powerful. So top side, that's where Sylvanas is currently headed. Sylvanas is going to try and get the second camp in, and red team knows that as well. They're actually sending a few heroes over. Lauber was trying to interrupt that for just a second and is now making that rotation too to help out there. But yep, there we go. Do they have the time though? Lauber comes in, so does Mopsio. Svampgrotta is there, and Vala is on the way too. Mopsio is a bit low though and might die, but Chris gets put into a corner and is the first victim of the fight, but Mopsio follows shortly after, and it's a massive setup between the two teams here, with Copenhagen just going for the drain as Fury on Chen is just drinking the entire time. Here comes the power sliders. They're making the play for Hanzo. He tries to get away, but there's the kill as well. Fury and delivers the final blow, and they get the kill against Chen too. Chen is down, and Svampgrotta nearly dies as Henning attempts to lock him down with another root. But as Malfurion lays down the lawn here, Jaina still able to get through the gate and escape. 3 kills against 1, both camps taken, a lead in experience, which translates in nearly an entire level lead for the blue team, as the objective is announced and the teams focus their attention onto the shaman camps. We're also having the Arcane Intellect taken on level 1. Sorry, level 4. With level 4 we're also having the Puncturing Arrow, of course, getting played out here. But this is going to be the move for the first objective, and it could lead us to an early level 7 talent from the blue team with a big advantage here. So right now, Lauber is already getting attacked. There's a lot of CC. There's obviously a lot of slows here. You have the Totem from Rhaegar, you have Chen trying to lock them down, the Condemn and Punish from Johanna, plus of course Jaina. There's a lot that they can play with in order to just slow someone down and get a couple of free hits in. And they're doing exactly that against Henning. Exactly that. And Malfurion will die. Malfurion goes down. They still push the bottom of the map. That's where Chris is adding value, thanks to him disabling some of the structures and empowering the push with the camp. So they get the entire wall. It was a bit of a freebie. Buys them time, of course, too. But Lauber is blocked, and Lauber goes down. Chris is able to move away, though. They're also still looking at a lead here. Li Ming is dead too. I mean, seriously, we have just kills happening all over the place right now. With Chen getting a kill here at the same time. There's still the move for the halftime show, and they take it. Halftime show accomplished, 4 kills against 3, so after the initial lead for the blue team, Porc9 is showing that they are definitely able to take kills as well, and they have the earlier level 7 talent because of it, which gives us the repeating arrow, and therefore a lot more clear against the Immortal from Vala herself, which is pretty much stuck in a defensive position here. They're slowing down Copenhagen, and they're nearly getting the kill. The drain is on, Fury is a bit too far in, and once the kill gets too greedy and gets eliminated. Panda abuse already. Peter has been informed, don't worry about that. as we see both teams go for the race. But as you can imagine, at this point, it looks very much so like we're going to see the blue team win this one. And they do. They do. It's a small victory, but it's a victory nonetheless. And there we have it. The move towards the top lane with Calamity taken. Dominance on level 4. And now the play for the first fort. If he can get that one, would be already a bit of a win. Nearly, I mean, they're pretty much dead even at this point. The advantage comes through the Immortal and the push power that you have with Sylvanas, which is exactly what they're currently doing here. So they're starting to jump this in. And let's see, wall down. Chris moves in, and there we go. Disables the fort, and that Immortal is gonna get value. Or is it? Push back. Oh, the slide, the combo. And Mopsio nearly dying there. Yeah, nearly eliminated. Bad blood definitely through all of HC history between Chris and Mopsio. Let's just say that the two of them don't necessarily like each other very much, which is fine. But that makes, of course, this entire setup a little bit more spicy. Fort is already down. We're already seeing at the bottom of the map another attempt to get even more value with the Vala moving in. But Rega the first kill as he gets locked down and obliterated. Yeah, strong rotations. Strong rotations with Leo now focusing on the top side again. But with the fort at the bot lane now being attacked and only 2 heroes, well, 3 available for the defense. It looks very much like we're going to see a second fort fall. That's pretty much as good as it gets. Honestly, if they get Svamgrota here too, that would be amazing for them. Now the minions are gone, so they might actually look at Lauber dying, but he sacrifices his life for a good cause, and that's pretty much all that he can ask for. Fort is down, both of the fountains are taken apart on the top and the bot lane. They're looking really good with this. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're having 15,000 damage for Chris. Tai gets attacked. But Malfurion again, saying no further than this, as the line in the sand, my friend. And it works for them. Level 10 abilities, still dropping for both of them at roughly the same time. It's a slight advantage for the Fanclub, and that might just be enough to force the battle here before level 10 hits for the opponent and claim the camp. ETC stage dived in, and they're zoning them out. But level 10 abilities are now ready for the 2 of them, and that also means we are seeing the Reign of Vengeance on Vala. No stray for them in this case. Too many interrupts on the other side. And the Immortal is back to business. But they have the lead. And with Sylvanas in here, she gets the extra damage in. Tai is poking away. ETC with a slide. Vala is sitting at 7 stacks on the level 4 ability. The repeating arrow will still make it possible to use Monster Hunter a little bit more reliably. Nice idea with the Entomb here. Was worth the try, but it didn't work out. And now Copenhagen is obviously no 40-second cooldown still on his ult. That was a good attempt, but it backfired a little bit, and that gives an opportunity for the red team to make a move here, and that's exactly what they do. They're moving in for Henning, and they get the kill. The triple panda just too powerful against Malfurion, and that might just be what they need. But Rega goes down as well, so both of the supports are all of a sudden out of business. The camp at the top lane is still pushing against the blue team. They have a slight lead here on the objective for them, but the red team, Porc9, is starting to do well. Mopsio is low, but they can't get the kill, and instead it's Lauber that falls. So now with 7 kills against 6, Porc9 is starting to take a slight lead and also take the objective, or at least the halftime show on it. So guys, it is looking pretty decent. As I said in the first draft, seriously, this is a game that could go either way. The Fanclub is definitely the top dog in Europe right now. But Porc9 on a good day, bringing the A game, can take a map and maybe even the series if they play it well. And so far in the team fights at least, they're absolutely delivering here. Yeah, there comes the attempt at a stage dive with the power slide. The cleanse is out immediately though. Monkey is not fucking around here. He's not taking any risks. He sees the stage dive and he says, well, if he gets you with a power slide, if he does it, then you're dead. So here's the cleanse. Let's go. Interesting approach here. Actually using the Entomb in order to make sure that they're zoning out the opponent a little bit more to get more time on the objective and take that down as much as they can. Not really a bad move. Now Chris is going to try and poke, as we see from Li Ming. Missing inside. Blessed Shield comes in. They're trying to make the play here. And they're going straight in for the kill. But it's Johanna instead that falls. And she might not be the only one. Monkey gets attacked too. Oh, the self-ancestral. Leo kept alive thanks to the tranquility. Moves out of it and gets taken down. But so does the Immortal. And that's the second Immortal in the hands of the blue team. And they're not done chasing. They want to go for Monkey. They want to go for Shirionto here. They want to try and get a kill wherever they can. Here comes the Panda. Using the ult to keep himself alive. The immediate slide from Lauber. And over here, the vision still granted by Leoric. But yep, we have a very aggressive game on our hands. With 15 kills already. Yep. There we go. Bot lane. That's where the attack keeps coming in. 14 stacks on Vala. 6 away from completing the level 4 quest. But these pushes are now starting to become nasty. With level 13 in the hands of the fan club, they have another advantage over their opponent. Johanna has taken another wave at the top lane in order to, well, shorten that window a little bit. But the problem is it's still there, and it seems like this keep might fall. The attack is ready, and once again, the fan club getting aggressive around it. They want that keep. And here comes the stage dive. They go for Svamkrota. Again, the cleanse. Monkey doing a decent job on Rega, I gotta say. Serious support value from him, but the keep is gonna fall for sure, and the fight is still there. Mopsio is trying to go for tie, but gets outplayed a little bit. Lauber, on the other hand, he's down, and Mopsio is still alive. They can't get the kill against him. They're trying, but it's just not enough. Monkey is a bit low, and they're trying to turn it around with Malfurion as he moves in, but 13 talents on both sides. It's still a kill against Jaina that follows, and Chen might die too as they go in with a slow, and the Panda is dead. Oh, the kill as well against Rega. Now, they don't really have a chance to go for their core here, obviously. With 10 kills against 9 early on in this game, they just don't have enough time since the death timers are still fairly low. But they still have an opportunity to focus their attention onto some of the camps here, which is probably what we're going to see. And despite the fact that Porc9 is doing well in these team fights, they just don't win objectives. I mean, again, this is just one Immortal after another that is being taken by the fan club, and that's where most of their advantages stem from now. So, if anything, Porc9 needs to play a bit more aggressively around the objective and try to take that. They're trying to take the camp at the top right now, with the rest of the team moving in. It's still a level 13 talent versus 13 talent fight, despite the advantages in levels. And here comes the play. They're trying to go for the kill, and Copenhagen is in trouble. In a lot of trouble at that, but he's still able to move out, and Jaina completely isolated. Way too far out here. Jaina is dead, and with the fountain still ready, everybody just goes for the tap, and Chris is starting to follow it up with even more damage on the dagger. They're just looking great here. The camp still has been taken by Porc9, so they traded Jaina for the camp. Not sure if that was necessarily worth it, and Copenhagen still has the Entomb. He turns it around there at any point. They will be able to fight for it. But the objective is back up, so they're not going to waste any time on that, and instead focus their attention onto the next Immortal. If they take this one, there's a good chance they're going to get the second keep at the top lane. Here comes the attack again. Obviously, Porc9 has to push the issue a little bit, since level 16 is closing in for the fan club. Porc9 is looking for it. They're trying to make the plays right there. Bot lane is getting pressured as well, with catapults now moving in. We're 13 minutes into the game, so they don't hurt too much just yet. But there's the poke, and with the halftime show 1, they're going aggressive. Porc9. They have to. Again, they have to. They can't do anything else because level 16 is now ready thanks to the camp that was just claimed. So now they're going in with Mirror Ball. They have everything that they need. They're looking for the advantage here. They can force the fight around the Entomb and then follow up with a Wailing Arrow for the silence. Svamkrota is a bit too far out. Nice ice block. Ancestral connects too, but Chen is dead. And with Chen down, they have a massive problem at their hands. They're already on the run and split from the opponent. They're trying to drive a wedge between them. Vala completes the quest, but as you can tell here, she is on the run and she is going to die. Yeah, they just run over her. I mean, she doesn't stand a chance there. Now, the shields are already getting scratched on the core, but you just look at the Immortal and you know where the real problem is coming from. That one is going to fall, and it's going to be 50% shields. Catapults and camp on the core at the bottom. Again, scratches the shield, not much more than that, but the camp is now stolen away too, which means that we're having a big focus towards the top with an Immortal, with a Shaman camp, and this is problematic. Very problematic at that. Lauber is at this point just pausing the game, a little bit of a 3-2-3 moment to discuss strategies. I mean, probably just some connection issues. Chris actually had some real big issues just recently with connections, so that might be one of the cases. But it also gives a little bit of time for the red team to discuss what's going on next, because they obviously have to wait for Vala. She's back in 3 seconds, so that's not a problem. And they are having pretty much all of their heroic abilities available in the team fight. The only one that's really important and that's going to miss is the Ancestral on Rhaegar. But outside of that, they can jump into the backline with the Panda, and there comes Fury. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to force that fight here somewhere. Svamgrota wants to go for the flank and making their play here. The Immortal is starting to push in, but I don't think the Pandas can do too much. Fury is getting wrecked. They waited for him. They knew he was coming. They obviously had to anticipate that move. And now they are pushing with Sylvanas. They disable the structures at the front and they go in right away. That's another attack with a stage dive on the Chironto. The cleanse is out there immediately by Monkey. But the keep is a goner. The keep is definitely a goner. They still have the level 16 advantage over their opponent. And with the Immortal still having this many hit points, that's an easy go for Core. Even if they can't take it down, it's going to take some severe damage. And as they are starting to go for Mopsio, the Ancestral comes out finally. Ice Block once again. The shield on the Core are nearly down. Monkey is low. Everybody is low on the red team. Porc9 is in trouble in the Node 2. 86%. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this looks like it's going to be game. Another Entomb comes through, and that's the end of Vala as she gets put into a corner and taken down. Chen is suffering the same fate. Svamgrota, the only survivor, and this is the lead for the Fan Club in this best of 3 series as they take Battlefield of Eternity against Porc9. Infernal Shrines, map number 2, the Fan Club with a lead in the series, 1-0 now for them in this final qualification tournament for the HeroesHype Premier Series Season 2. Next week the playoffs will start. And Porc9, I gotta say, had a pretty good showing so far in the first game. Towards the end of the match, though, or the end of the first map, the Fan Club was just a little bit too dominant, and they just simply did too well there. So now we have Zeratul banned out again on Infernal. Again, the ban against Tai, because most teams respect the impact that he has with Zeratul in any setup. Same reason why we're seeing Samuro continuously banned out against Porc9. Monkey, the reason for that. Now, with Infernal Shrines, I'm not sure if we're going to see any big adjustments here. I still think that, especially on the offlane, we're most likely going to look at least one Leoric player again. Makes a lot of sense here. Johanna is probably going to end up with a higher priority on the map, and so will Rhaegar, because the objective itself lends itself, of course, to a lot of wave clear being important here, since you can get value against the opponent, plus and at the same time also highlight a little bit more the stacks that you want to get for the Punisher. But yeah, there's Tracer banned out. And what are we gonna get in terms of the second ban against Porc9? I mean, it feels like we're gonna see more, we're having more and more of a focus onto damage dealers with this, but outside of that, the one thing that Mopsio wants is Johanna. I can guarantee you that already. And they are gonna want Rhaegar too. So Zarek gets banned out again. They're just dealing with Svamgrota here more so than anything else, I feel, in the ban phase. We did the same thing on Battlefield of Eternity. But the first pick is interesting, because you could, like, again, we've seen more and more of a focus onto heroes at the front line and support. So if you really want to play around Rhaegar, that might be an early Rhaegar pick. If you could go into the early Johanna if the wave clear is something that you're just prioritizing as much. But they go for Alarak against Svamgrota. But keep, for example, Washed Up in mind, who have gone for Malfurion and Johanna a lot recently. But, okay. Oh, sorry, Johanna and Rhaegar. Depending on what was available, yeah. Yeah, but with that said, what is the Fan Club going to do? Because traditionally it's ETC, and they still go for it. I was honestly expecting them to at least consider Johanna plus ETC instead. I think that Mopsio very likely is going to play Johanna here. Condemn is just really nice to have on the Shrine phase. But Lauber likes his ETC. And Henning's Rhaegar is not surprising anybody here. But yep, Lauber with ETC. And now on the other side, we should see that Johanna come through. And then you can... Okay, Hanzo. Ooh. Tyrael. Okay. Tyrael is a bit of a different beast here, which obviously would also empower some other damage dealers now. And when we're talking about Tyrael in the Sanctification, then you can oftentimes just look into Greymane. We have seen on other maps, I don't think it's going to happen here, but we've seen, for example, Illidan play quite a bit by Mopsio's team when they went into Tyrael. But that's definitely a change of pace that we're now seeing all of a sudden. So that's going to make things interesting on the next pick of Monkey. Malfurion gets banned together with that, so there's no chance of having Malfurion plus the Shields of Tyrael supporting anything on the squishy side. We had one game, actually, I don't even remember where it was, where we had Judgment and the Hunt, which can be nasty, but not against Lauber's team. If you have Rhaegar, that shuts down the entire thing that you can get with this. First of all, you have a cleanse available, and then you also have an ancestral, so it's very, very unlikely that something like that would ever work against this setup. It works against something like Malfurion, though, or some other heroes. There's a ban against Jaina. Oh, well, it can come. The ban against Jaina for burst damage. I mean, in terms of mages, you still have Gul'dan around. You can go into Kel'Thas if you have a good Kel'Thas player. We've seen Tai a lot on Orphea. Li Ming is still open, even though she doesn't really see a lot of play on Infernal Shrines because, well, the Shrine phase itself doesn't really allow her to get a lot of damage through outside of Calamity plays. There's, as expected, Leo. And, well, there's Kira. I talked about this actually before the series, that we see a lot of Kira from Granit Gaming. Well, Laubers Fanclub. And, yep, they play it again. So, Kira is in. And I think Tai has so far only lost one map with Kira. That doesn't necessarily say anything about Kira herself, because again, Laubers Fanclub is the best team right now in Europe, or at least one of the absolute top teams that we have together with Washed Up. But yeah, his Kira performance is pretty solid, and this is gonna be difficult. Malthael comes in for Monkey, and Fury actually for Karazim. Very aggressive lineup here. Incredibly aggressive lineup. Pretty much mainly melee heroes. No, well, you have Hanzo's poke, but it's a very heavy front line that we have with a lot of aggression coming through from the melee side. And that can work out with a good Sanctification, but I'm a little bit worried about the early stages. And Sylvanas can get mad value also from an arrow. So that's an interesting lineup to use against this. But they want to build some momentum. It's game number 2, map number 2, Infernal Shrines. Let's head in the best of 3 series here at the HeroesHype Premier Series. Game on! Infernal Shrines, the second map between the Fanclub and Porc9, and over to the left side with a 1-0 lead in the best of 3. We have Henning on Rhaegar, Lauber again on ETC, Tai on Kira with Kopenhagen on Leoric, and Chris on Sylvanas. To the right side of the map, Porc9 with Svamgrotta on Alarak. We've seen him on the hero in the previous series against the Clowns. Mopsio on Tyrael, Monkey on Malthael, we have Shiriontio on Hanzo, and Fury on Karazim. Time to shine, ladies! Level 1, typical maximum effort again for Kira, the usual. And we are ready and good to go to see how much aggression the red team can actually build with this. Bit of a momentum-based composition that they have here, designed to pretty much run over the opponent with decent coordination. And there's the slide in by Lauber, saying like, yep, let's go and turn this. That's a quick kill against Svamgrotta. Not that easy, my friend. That was also a little bit of an unfair battle, though. 5 against 4, since Malthael was already sitting at the top of the map. Copenhagen is now moving in to help him down, but yep, that was a pretty quick shutdown by the Fanclub, just saying, no boys, ain't happening. You might think that you have the aggression on your side, but 2 can play at that game. We're gonna show you now how it's done. That's a really, really quick one. There's another setup. Rhaegar. Kira's already jumping in. Malthael is trying to go for Rhaegar. Yeah, the problem is that Svamgrotta is still in trouble, and Tai might just have been able to deliver the kill, and indeed he did. Problem is that he also sacrificed his own life in the process. So yeah, we are getting down and dirty in this game. I mean, it just started. We have 3 kills already at the 1-minute mark. They're doing fantastic with this one. Down to the bottom of the map, we have Henning now taking over an experience. Camps are obviously now also available, and normally that's what the Fanclub focuses on a lot, going for the mercenaries. Haven't really seen anything of that yet. Towards the top, still the soap bar. Yeah, the janitor, he wants to clean house here. Let's see what we're gonna get down here. Mopsio is already busying himself on one camp. On the other side, we have the same happening now for the Fanclub, as usual. Question is more so who gets the one at the middle in the bot lane. That's an earlier level 4 for them now. It's not a really big advantage just yet. But again, we're having Ty with the damage. He wants to go for Monkey. But he can't quite get the kill here. But he does damage. And he has upstage once again. So Blood Rage on level 4, on level 7. Typical build for him after initially going into the maximum effort on level 1. Okay. Towards the top. Mopsio gets helped here too. But you can tell that they are definitely targeted pretty hard. I mean, Ty is playing hyper-aggressive with Kira, as he usually does. That's exactly what he's currently doing here, too. So now we're having zip, camp taken. Therefore, again, a little bit of a lead in experience. Nothing that really forces the issue just yet. But it's going to add up more and more. And what are we gonna see at the top now? Because the Shaman camp is actually attacked already. So they're going for this early on. Shrine is activating in the bot lane first this time. And the problem is really Chris. He's already pushing out the entire bot lane here quite easily. Traditional build for him, 2 Might of the Banshee Queen into the Unstable Poison. Not playing around the Unfurling Shadows here. Haven't really seen that by him at all. So this setup. And there we have our first big battle. Lauber already in trouble and goes down quickly. Nicely played by Alarak in particular. He's the one to deliver the kill. Ty wants to go for the counter kill. Is kept alive by Rhaegar quite nicely, but they can't get the kill against him. And another telekinesis move makes sure that Rhaegar dies too. And all of a sudden the Fanclub is down 2 heroes. And it seems like Porc9 is easily going to grab the shrine here. 20 stacks against 20, but with 2 heroes eliminated, they have all the time in the world to get this one. Nicely done. Yeah, that's going to be the first Punisher. Level 7 for both of them. But that was solid. Very solid at that. Healmonger is already predicted on level 7. There's another attempt to go for Lauber, and he just barely slides away. That was an important slide, by the way. It was really important because just a second later, and that Punisher would have gone for Lauber, and that would have procced the jump in front of the gate. Ty, by the way, is about to die. Whoa, he nearly makes it out, but then the rest of the team jumps in. And I've been talking about the momentum earlier, and damn, is Porc9 getting momentum here. Even without the sanctification, they're just crushing over them. It's a pain train that's coming here. Choo-choo! Leaving the station and just rushing straight over the Fanclub. With 5 kills against 2. The early game might have not looked too solid, but once the first objective spawned, did that turn. So, yep, that is pretty insane. That's actually like really strong. Top side though, Monkey against Copenhagen right now. And, well, in the middle of the map the fight is continuing too. Now Ty is again Ty is just sitting there and is like, guys, defense, I'm not really a fan. Offense, let's go. Let's try and get the kill here. And he did well with this, but there's a lot of control. Again, I mean, we're looking towards Alarak in particular. There's a reason why Spamkroda's Heroes was banned out a few times. Monkey, by the way, gets soloed by Copenhagen up at the top. The minions are helping out a little bit with that too. Now, that's a nice kill for him right here. 14,000 damage by Chris. 0 deaths on him. But still very even experience. But the Ford losing it is obviously hurting slightly. Now here comes the invade. It's a 5 versus 4. They could be. They don't know where Leo is. They don't have vision. So Leo is back, but they don't know that. He has vision granted over towards the fountain. That's what they're going to take down. Give the vision towards the Khazra. And that's more or less a fountain nearly eliminated. Could take that. Oh, Ty is in trouble. He's not the only one. Fury is also in trouble. Able to jump out here. Harazim with just one quick dash after another. Just before we have level 10 abilities here. And, well, there we go. That's our Mosh. Yeah, get wrecked, my friend. A little bit of damage against Lauber through the explosion. But now we have the final strike, as usual. Ancestral, Last Rites, Counter-Strike, Hanzo's Arrow. And I would assume that we're going to get the Palm here. Or are they really going to go full aggression? I mean, honestly, that has... Yeah, there's Palm, and that has to be Sanctification. With that lineup, yeah, especially against the cleanse from Rhaegar, you're not going to go Judgment here. I mean, I love memes, but that would just be a little bit too much. Not against this lineup. Not with ETC, Rhaegar on the other side, and also the Silence and Sylvanas. I mean, it would just ask for trouble. So, right now, we have no stacks yet on the Last Rites, but an effort to get the bottom camp. Whereas Rhaegar is taking the top left. Kira still sitting tight here. Spray gay on point, by the way. Just saying. But the next shrine activates in the middle. And they are pretty much even in experience. That's a cool game. It's a cool series. First game wasn't that bad either. I mean, like, it was actually pretty solid. The late game was a bit more stompy, but that was just because the fan club gained the momentum through the early game. In this game, they have a bit more of a problem with that. Especially, of course, since the first objective led to them losing a fort. So in structures, they are behind, even though they were able to pick up some experience and take a lead there. Shrine is activating in another 5 seconds, but at the bot lane, the worst was already prevented. I'm going for it. Lauber is sitting tight. Yep, they come in with a 5-man, and there we go. The slide and the attack against Fury. And he palms himself. All good monks do. Sanctification on the ground and the double kill against Kira and ETC. Good aggression early on, trying to make the play, but in those close quarter battles on the shrine, Porc9 just dominates. They go in and they absolutely murder them. Mosh Pit was interrupted instantly, but now Malthael is at the top lane, and that turned insanely quickly. I mean, insanely quickly here. That's another one. So, yeah, they got destroyed. 8 kills against 4. Sanctification was on the ground. Even if he didn't get the palm through, he would have been safe there. But yeah, palm got procced and now they jump in. So with that, a quick attack towards fort number 2. And right now the big question is, how is the fan club gonna deal with this? 2 shrines and twice they got destroyed. 2 shrines and they lost both. That's 2 punishes for the opponent and that's 2 forts eliminated. And they're going for more. Lauber slides in, doesn't hit the mark. That's not even the entire team. Mopsio gets caught and says, like, guys, you do realize that I'm Tyrael, right? Like, I can jump out of this one. That's a bit of a news flash. Come back to me when you're on 20. Yeah, now all of a sudden, we're having nearly a level lead for the opponent. And we have a really strong setup there. There is a couple of glimmers of hope, though. I mean, first of all, the Echo Pedal gets, not the Echo Pedal, the Proc Rock gets completed on level 1, so that's an important tool to have. Then with level 13 talents on both sides, that also means that we're now having the Earth Shield, and that is oftentimes the difference between an Ancestral landing and an Ancestral just not coming in time. But now the big question is still, can they get their kills here? Experience is not a problem, but losing the control of the map, that is an issue. With them losing one structure after another. Malthael has now also 1 stack on his ult. We go again for Tai. There's already the attempt at a heal. Copenhagen with the N2. Mosh Pit! And the kill against Malthael. But the Sanctification turns it. With Leo dying, can they get more? Counter-Strike is in. Alarak is dead. Mopsio gets palmed. The palm procs, but he's still going to fall. Or is he? Well, he might. They're trying to race him down. Nice arrow to stop the chase a little bit. But Mopsio is still low, and they're shifting their target. They're saying, alright, we might not get Tyrael, but look at that Hanzo. Juicy, juicy, juicy. Can't get this next kill, though. 2 for 1 in their favor, so they at least get something out of it. But they would have loved to get a lot more kills. And instead now they have to go for cleanup duty. They need to play the janitor here. Janitor at the top, clean up in the middle, clean up at the bottom. And thanks to that knowledge, Porc9 just says, alright, we're gonna get another camp. You can't do anything right now, you have to defend your lanes, you have to get the experience, you have no chance of moving into the middle of the bot lane. We're gonna take that camp, thank you very much. So, well, for now, we're having, thanks to that kill, Alarak also reset to 90 stacks. Leo barely making it out. Yeah, close call, and Fury went a little bit deep. Just to see if he can maybe still get that kill. And the answer to that one is no. That's level 16. Gonna try and fight before that? Nah, they're gonna wait that out. Porc9 is playing this safe now. They're playing this very, very safe at this point. And again, it's more so about the next objective than anything else. There's also not a lot of camps on the map, but this one is gonna come back in 43 seconds, and that time we should have the blue team on level 16 as well. But this is getting spicy, I like it. And the shrine gets activated. Okay, you have 28 seconds in order to get your experience, and they will be able to do that. Yeah, Kira is sitting at the top, but just look again how safe Tai is here. He knows these rotations are going to come his way eventually. 16 talents. Now we're having the cleansing touch. Mass cleanse against this setup. Quicksilver. And a position on the shrine already taken. There's a level 16. Once again, booming kick after the pulsing pain. And the evasive fire. And we're off to... Oh, if they get the early kill, that would be a game changer. Mosh Pit to zone them, and they go for the kill against Alarak, and this time they get him before the fight starts. There's the palm. That's exactly the kill that they needed. All of a sudden, they're isolating them. Divide and conquer. Isolate the opponent, take them down one after another. Don't face the 5-man. They obliterate 4 heroes. That's exactly the power of the fan club. And at the top lane, yes, they're going to very likely lose another 40. I mean, Leo is making his way over, but the question is he going to be arriving in time to stop this? But obviously, down at the bottom of the map, there is just no doubt any longer who is going to take the next Punisher. This was exactly the fight that they needed. Get the early kill against Alarak, turn Alarak into Alarekt, and you have a chance there. And that's exactly what they did. Yeah, the 6.5 out of 10 moment. Comeback time, baby. The fan club ahead in experience all of a sudden thanks to this. Delaying the Punisher for just a moment, getting another camp, and starting to make their move down to the bottom of the map. Alright, let's see what we're getting out of this one. Chris is there. Chris is there. Jump gets proc. They're through the wall, though. And they can disable the fort. And that's exactly what they do. More value for the Punisher. And they're starting to chase them. In comes Leo. Where's the Entomb when you need it? Entomb not there yet. Sanctification already used. They're keeping their options open. And there comes the ult from Ty. Last strike already in. And they get the fort. Question is, how much more can they get? Starting to push the bot lane a little bit more and keep Copenhagen around to see if they can maybe get another wave. But they're going for the camps, and their obvious goal is the mid lane, where they're attempting to get another fort. They're trying to fight back into this. Get a structural position that is strong enough for the late game. And the fan club will get that fort. The bot lane still has to be defended, and they're getting camps all over the place. It's experience that they're out for. And Leo gets the bottom. Yes, that's an easy pick for him. Everybody else is busying themselves in the middle and all the way up at the top, where we have the rotation headed again, as Chris is adding value from Sylvanas. They disable this one, they get some damage pin, but they have to be careful. Arrow gets dodged. Laubers, so all of that coming, but the chase is still on. And they're able to escape. Or are they? Maybe. They could go for Henning. They go for Henning. The Ancestral. No value on the ult from Malthael, but they get the kill against Kira. They get the kill against Kira, but guess what? Copenhagen is getting value at the bottom of the map. Copenhagen is just saying, hey guys, if you want to drop the top, I mean, be my guest, but you know what? I'm going to take a wall at the bottom. Thank you very much for that. Always wanted to take that down. And now we are looking at a game where we are starting to see a massively inexperience for the fan club. Bit of a disadvantage at structure since they lost every single fort, but it doesn't really matter too much because the next objective spawns in the mid lane, and once that spawns, once that we're having that arcane Punisher being fought over, there's no shrine anymore, sorry, no fountain anymore anywhere near that. But we are gonna have level 20 for the fan club, or do we? Porc9 wants to fight this, but they're not all there yet. And here's the mosh pit again. Go for the mosh pit, but there's no one there to help. Lauber, that's a dead ETC. And that is also a second stack. Yeah, the camp is also stolen away. That did not go well. Nah, that was definitely them not being on the same page here. Lauber thought they would fight and he saw an opportunity. The rest of the team was already on the retreat. There was no damage around anymore. And Porc9 is making the perfect decision here. They're just saying, okay, as long as ETC is down, let's go for it, guys. Open up the mid lane a little bit, try and see if we can get damage onto the keep itself. We have the kill, we need experience, we need level 20, so let's do as much as we can here, and then get the Storm Talons. And they're just poking, and keep in mind, this is actually the lane where the next Punisher is going to move through. So if they win it, they have a shot. And there's 20 versus 20 now. With that, we're now getting the unleashed potential. Battle Arena. No one can stop death. Bullseye, Storm Shield, Hasty Bargain as well. And we are good to go for the next objective, which should actually be announced soon, just as we're seeing them head for the Shaman camp over here. And yep, there we go. 28 seconds. Alright, it's time to shine. 10 kills against 11. The fan club is ahead, but this game isn't over. Can they take the 2-0 victory? Or will it be Porc9 that win the fight now and go straight in for the core. Keep in mind, the first 2 objectives, it was a quad kill for Porc9. If they get another one of those, the game's over. With the key pretty much destroyed in the middle of the map, if they kill 4 heroes, they're just going for the core. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So right now, this is it. This could be it. This might be it. I mean, at this point, who knows? But here comes the play against Leo. The combo from Svangrota. Can't get the kill through. 0 deaths, by the way, on Hanzo and on Sylvanas. The 2 of them also fighting for the top damage in the game here. Cleanses out. Tai is getting attacked a little bit. Whee! Kira just jumping around again. The problem is Copenhagen is already low, but he's not the only one. Here comes the ult and the last strike kill against Tyrael. The explosion, the kill against Leo, and the fight is not over by any means. Lauber is in trouble. He's about to fall, and he goes down. The death metal doesn't connect with anybody here. No death mosh value, heading a bit low. Ults have been used all over the place. The only one who didn't have any time to get his out was Tyrael because he was in the buried alive, and that's a kill against Kira. Kira is down. Sylvanas defending the top lane as they're going for the Shaman camp. And here comes the Arcane Punisher. And with 3 heroes down there going for core, they're going through the middle. Right now, that's the opportunity right there in order to force game number 3. They have a chance, they have an opportunity, and they're going to try and use it. The only thing that the fan club can do is try and bait the Punisher over to the bottom of the map and see if they can maybe somehow defend against it. Already Copenhagen at 50% HP, but they immediately push the Punisher down. But it's of no use. Jumps in already. They're going for game. It's a 4 versus 3. Tyrael is back, but he has a lot of travel time in order to arrive at the scene. But this is not looking good. Not at all. The core is falling slowly and steadily. There's the Buried Alive trying to prevent the burst, but the core is already getting taken down to 60%. They're trying to defend though, and Monkey is in trouble, but he gets the last rights through and gets the kill against Leo. That's another stack, the 3rd one for him. Alarak is down, so is Karasim, so is everybody pretty much. Hanzo falls, but can they take Tyrael and the Punisher down? And the answer is no. The series tied as we head into game number 3 between the Fan Club and Porc9. Game number 3, everybody! And with our next map comes also new information, because we already were in this draft, twice actually to be exact, and as it turns out, there is a rule that pretty much no team outside of Porc9 was apparently aware of. So as you can remember, in the last series we had Samuro banned out twice, in this series he was banned out several times too, and to my knowledge in other matches that Washed Up is playing right now, Samuro was banned a couple of times too. The interesting part here is that when the draft actually unfolded for the first time before we had to restart the draft, the fan club didn't ban Samuro. Instead, they first picked Samuro on Sky Temple, and the immediate thing that happened afterwards is that Porc9 cancelled the draft and said, guys, Samuro is actually banned. Which was an interesting situation because they didn't say anything when the fan club banned Samuro 2 times previously and also in the previous series. So apparently the players on the side of Porc9 outside of maybe 1 or 2 didn't know. But there seems to be a bug with Samuro. I'm not quite sure specifically what that bug is, which caused the hero to be banned out for this specific tournament. Most of the teams didn't seem to know about that. And, well, it's a little bit BM if you think about it. I mean, fair play would have been that whoever knew on the side of Porc9 informed the opponent immediately after the ban goes through and says, listen guys, you don't have to ban that out because that hero is banned anyways. That didn't quite happen, so obviously the fan club wasn't too happy about this, especially since they said, well, can we now go back on Infernal Shrines and ban instead Hanzo out? But that's not quite how it works. So at the end of the day, obviously, we're looking now at the setup. In this case, the bans are, by the way, still the same, with the exception that the fan club is now banning out Alarak, in this case. And we're having Rhaegar taken as the first pick. So it's a bit of an interesting twist heading into this 3rd map. Would have been nice to see Samuro played by Copenhagen here. Mopsio is picking ETC for now. And let's see. Yeah, this is definitely putting a little bit of an interesting one to that. Okay, so, chat is also informed earlier, apparently the bug is Samuro can Hearth pre-level 10, then swap back to the Hearth location. That seems to be a bit of an issue right now, and that is probably unintended. But again, wasn't specified in the rules. I only saw a screenshot earlier that said that Samuro is banned for this specific tournament. But either way, focusing, like, just leaving the Samuro issue aside for just a moment, we're having now Dehaka and Greymane taken for the fan club, so they already run the global. On this map, it's not a surprise. I would expect that some kind of global is being played by Porc9 too. Very likely ETC with a stage dive, but it could also be a false start player that they have. You could always, of course, go into Trash Wing if you really want to ruin your game plan. Outside of Fnatic going into full-on triple global plays, not really something that I expect to see anytime soon. But, well, stranger things have happened. There's Junkrat, also banned against them. I mean, Chris doesn't really have his hero yet. Lauber hasn't committed to a frontliner yet either. His Megallis play has been banned out. But Johanna is still open and could easily be taken. You can on this map also take Muradin if you want to set something up for the rest of the team. Depends a bit on what else is getting picked by Porc9 now. Yeah, well, with the third ban incoming, you could also focus on the supports again, but instead we are seeing Malthael banned out. So a little bit less of a threat against Lauber on the front line. But again, this is going to be a spicy one. Greymane played by Ty is already nice. I mean, could even see a Tyrael play on the side of Lauber if he wants to play around Sanctification, but I doubt it, to be honest with you. I'm interested to see what Chris is going to play. If we're going to see something along the lines of Sylvanas again, which I kind of doubt a little bit. Vala is still open, and so was Tracer until Shirionto said, okay, that's mine. Picks Tyrande. She has actually dropped off a little bit. Now, with ETC, you still have the power slide into Tyrande stun, into damage from Jaina and Tracer. So there's a huge kill combo that is available now to Porc9. A massive kill chain. But Tyrande has fallen off a little bit ever since the Celestial Attunement got moved from level 7 to level 16. And makes her a bit less powerful, well, a lot less powerful actually, in the early stages of the game. Especially if their opponent is stacking any kind of CC. There's Tyrael, they go for it. Tyrael and Hammer. Alright, no Vala, it's Hammer time, ladies. We're going into the Sergeant. And I always say, make sure that the Germans don't get the tanks. I mean, again, have we learned nothing? Hazops always gets Sergeant Hammer and then crushes the opponent. In this case, granted, Hazops isn't there, but we still have Chris. He's from the same country. You can trust these people. They're too efficient. And now, well, last pick for Monkey. Rexa is in the game again. So let's go. Game number 3, everybody. The final map, Sky Temple, between Porc9 and the Fan Club. Game on, everybody! We are ready to go with a Sky Temple, the Fan Club against Porc9 on our third map of the day in this particular series. Over to the left side, the Fan Club with Henning on Rega, Copenhagen on Dehaka, having Chris on Sergeant Hammer, with Lauber on Tyrael, Ty on Greymane, and to the right side of the map, Svamkorotta on Jaina, Mopsio on ETC for Porc9. We're seeing Shirionto on Tracer, Monkey on Rexa, and Fury on Tyrande. Alright, let's go! As we are heading straight into the last game of this best of 3 series. Which one's the team that will advance to the semifinal and face off against the Vikings? That's the big question right now. Level 1 talents we have for Hammer, the advanced artery taken again, and also the enduring swarm for Dehaka. Bottom of the map, that's where it's Hammer time right now. Chris with a pretty cool skin here still. I'm liking this one quite a lot. And yep, there we go. The attack against the bot lane. Now Dehaka with the global is obviously sitting at the top of the map, but they are 4-manning the bottom as we speak. And instead, we're having a little bit of a race against Lauber. Mecha Tyrael is going to escape from this one, I suppose. But Chris has to also be a bit careful at the bottom of the map, since he's now completely alone. Not left with the rest of the team. Top side, that's where we're currently having Copenhagen. Playing this really safe, not actually pushing the lane out or anything, just like waiting patiently, not exposing himself to anything. Also trying to deny some experience to the opponent, which you currently can't quite. And there we go. Mopsio at the bottom of the map already trying to deal with Hammer, so whenever there's a sieged up position, he can just simply push the hero away a little bit outside of the range. And yeah, right now we're also having camps getting attacked, and that's actually what Greymane excels. Greymane and Rhaegar, the wolf pack, is together here as they're trying to make the plays for the camps and get value on that side. And down at the bottom of the map, Mopsio and Chirionto are dealing with the camp that was already claimed. It's the same that we've seen in the previous game. Both of the teams have gone very aggressively for the camps. Siege Giants have also been taken, and now we're looking at the mercenary camps with Bruisers pushing through the top lane on both sides. And there we go. At this point, there's the attack again. A quick stun against Lauber, and nearly a kill. That's, of course, one of the cool things that you can see when we're having the Tyrande play in the game again. That you have just stun into stun and then burst damage on their side. Doesn't really work out in this case, but I think later on, especially, of course, with that Hunter's Mark, we're going to get some serious kill potential against heroes like Greymane whenever he moves out, and Tyrande is not quite there. So, let's see. I gotta admit, by the way, that the changes in terms to the coloring of the map is something that I really don't like all that much. It seems weird. It just seems like it doesn't necessarily look darker to me. It's honestly like it's a bit of a blue tint. The first time that I saw that, it was really looking. I was honestly wondering if the monitor cable was slightly. Slightly loose, so that some of the colors weren't really displayed properly, so it's a little bit weird. But yeah, Chris in the mid lane went a little bit too far out, and that's the tank already down. Alrighty, so not really efficient gameplay by our German here. The tank down already, but there's more where that came from. He's going to be back in just a little bit. So with this, we're having on the bottom of the map nearly the drag by Copenhagen. Whoa, he's going toe-to-toe with Tracer. He evades the slide though, but Fury is ready with a stun. Copenhagen still had some essence left, and that's what he could use. We have now 1 kill against 0, and Jaina pushed out another lane at the bottom of the map. So up towards the top, Henning and his boys are currently attempting to make sure that they're at least getting the value on one of the objective shrines, and it's still Monkey who's trying to push them back a little bit. By the way, this time also not going. Ooh, Greymane down. Yep, that's exactly what I mentioned earlier, that Greymane needs to be careful with this. If he gets hit by a stun combo, he's just toast. And they're overtaking the top control now too. Guys, Porc9 is actually bringing the pain here. The Fanclub looked strong on the first map, but now we're looking at a very different setup. Game number 2 ended in favor of Porc9 with great coordination towards the late game. And now all of a sudden we're having the Fanclub falling a bit behind as they're losing out on a lot of shots on the objective. So there's the early level 8 for the opponent. We don't have any structures taken yet, but this is definitely where the Fanclub is realizing, guys, we might lose this one. We need to really bring our A game here, get our shit together, and make sure that we're controlling this like we usually do, or we might run into a big problem. So now we're having also the Hover Siege mode ready, also the Swift Retribution. Attacks keep coming, camp is taken. There's the damage, and what a connect here from Copenhagen with a tongue. Yeah, fantastic play by him. That guy knows how to use his tongue in the heat of the moment. Yep, and Jaina can definitely confirm that. So now we're having more and more aggression through the bottom of the map, and especially with them now in control of the Siege Giants, plus also Hammer and a bit of defense with particularly Tyrael providing the shield, they can easily go through that wall, and that definitely turns the tide of the battle quite a bit. So we are jumping straight in for this one, with Mopsio getting attacked, and let's see, yeah, that's gonna be the wall there. So far, so good. Well, top side, that's where actually the Haka is still sitting tight, playing very, very passive against Rexa, waiting this out. We're having level 10 abilities. I mean, level 10 abilities are definitely going to change things a little bit. And the question is, especially for Hammer, what are they going to go for? If you go into the BFG, you're trying to get a quick kill during a fight with a bit more burst damage. But if you're heading, for example, into Napalm, then it's more about pushing and also poking from a distance here. So that's one of the choices that has to be made. Then again, you're also looking towards Greymane, and Go for the Throat and Cursed Bullet are both available. With Cursed Bullet being buffed in one of the previous patches, it's mostly the choice that we see these days, but not exclusively. I mean, Go for the Throat still gives a lot of value, especially against squishies, like for example Tracer, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So Go for the Throat is getting picked, and that's pretty powerful and a threat to Tracer, who already has to deal with the auto attacks of Hammer. Position now taken on the shrine or the temple. And that one should be it. Misha gets taken down too. And Chris is already trying to secure the position a little bit at the side. But this is really tough to fight into from Porc9's perspective. They need to be careful with this. Stage Dive is obviously a tool that they can use to get ETC into the battle. As expected, he's going to go for the global. But they're already starting to lose the bottom of the map, and they lost the fountain, which is already eliminating spot for them to get hit points back. Yep, there comes the stage dive. Mopsio still sitting there, gets pushed away. The attack towards Chris did not work out. The Haka comes in, and here's the bullet, and that's the kill. Well, the bullet, not the bullet on the side of Hammer, that is. Obviously go for the throat for good old Greymane, but the BFG comes in and takes down Tyrande, and that's the easy kill there. Especially with ETC not having too much of an impact and Chris surviving. They got the kill, 2 kills versus 2 now, and they get the first fort of the game. But up at the top, ETC is actually slowing down Copenhagen a little bit, and that's a problem. Because Copenhagen had to abandon his quick rotation towards the top, and that means that this entire wave that pushes against the fort is going to get mad value. So that's really cool from the perspective of Porc9. That's really well done. I mean, they get the counter value over here. They will get this fort. And that's great. That's more of a rotational thing than anything else. They stopped the rotation from Copenhagen. He didn't have the global available. Monkey might have overstayed his welcome, and actually indeed he did. But at least this time he didn't go into animal husbandry. Instead, we're having on level 4 the Grizzled Fortitude. So not even going to the Globe Talon to get the extra armor with a Hunter-Gatherer for himself and Misha. Also the push at the bottom of the map from Swamp Grotta. So despite the fact that Laubers Fanclub is doing very nice in a lot of these cases, it's not that easy. There's a lot of aggression that is happening right now on the map and a lot of cool rotations. And from a macro perspective, that last move with ETC interrupting the Dahaka rotation was worth a lot, especially since it ended up giving them access to one of the forts. So, very well done. The sacrifice Rexa for it, but again, still calling worth right there. Could have been a little bit better if he moves back quicker, but it's still an entire fort that they take out with it, so well played. 13, slightly ahead for the Fanclub. And in terms of damage, we haven't really seen too many fights just yet, so the damage output on all of the heroes is a little bit low. We're having 15,000 for Sergeant Hammer, so still top damage in the game. Obviously also getting quite some value against Misha whenever Rexa sends her out to scout here. Teams are dodging around the camp a little bit. The boss is obviously up, and with Sanctification in the hands of Tyrael, that's always an option for you where you could force a fight. Now there's some heroes on the other side, of course, that can try and capitalize on that as well. But generally speaking, the Fanclub has the better position when we're talking about boss fight. So with this said, bottom of the map, there's our little fight with Chris again, 4-manning it. But the temple activates at the top and at the bottom. At the top, we only have 2 heroes going against it. ETC this time has not moved towards the top side. Still has the stage dive here. Tai is actually moving in to take this wave down. They were hoping that he would go for this particular move. He didn't, but he gets still caught. And that's the combo right there. I highlighted it in the draft, and there we see it in action. Power slide into Tyrande stun plus Hunter's Mark, and the damage from Jaina. And zip! Within a second, the hero just disappears. It's pretty much the Houdini, we could call it. So yeah, they just Houdini'd Greymane. And, well, it's camp versus camp still. That eliminates fort after fort. All of the forts are gone on the red team's side. On the blue team's side, we're going to see this one fall very soon too. That's actually going to be destroyed in this particular encounter. Well, the 5 shot should take it. And there we go. Alright, 3 kills against 3. Guys, game 3 is awesome. It's a deciding game between the two of them. And we have level 15 versus 15. All the structures in the outer rings have been taken out on both sides. 3 kills against 3. This is a good one. This is just awesome. This is honestly This is exactly the series that we were hoping for here. And I mentioned it before the first game that Porc9 is definitely in a position where they can take the win against the Fanclub if they play and bring their A game. And now we're seeing them even attempting to go for the boss here. It's a bit of a sneak, but, well, they're keeping it aggroed for a little bit longer, but they are not really committing to it, or at least I don't think so. Gets leashed, and that should be the end of that. Tracer, obviously, is also still running around here. Yeah, gets wrecked hard by Chris. But Shiriondo still has enough HP left, and Lauber eventually has to retreat with Tyrael. But at the top, ETC comes in, and he tries to make the play for Chris. Where's the Haka when you need it? Coming in from behind, the Ancestral on Chris as he's trying to squeeze through. Barely making it happen. Sanctification on the ground, and the Haka looking for the Tong, but not quite finding it this time. The aggression against Chris, but he still survives. They're about to drop Misha again, but Rexar retreats, and the rest of the team is following since everybody is starting to be incredibly low here. Good stun from Tirana comes through as they're attempting to slow them down, and Misha sacrifices herself in the process too. They're not going to go for the boss with this one yet. Not with Sanctification just being used. So big battle between the two of them. Level 16 talents already, but nobody has actually fallen in the last encounter. But here comes another problem. Giant Killer is now in, and together with Giant Killer we get the Executioner. Another strong talent for them. Plus, in addition to that, we're now also having the Celestial Attunement finally taken, plus Numbing Blast. But I gotta say, Mopsio had a fantastic position in the last fight. That power slide against Chris not only stunned him out for a moment, but it also put him in a really awkward spot where he couldn't squeeze past that wall. And that forced Sanctification plus Ancestral out of the Fanclub. If not for both of them being used, they would have had a chance to maybe go for a boss afterwards. But now it's just Temple gets captured and the aggression towards the keep in the middle. But as we're talking about aggression, we see a similar play by Mopsio at the top, and they've done this now several times. The opponent gets the objective, but they get lane pressure, and that's what they're playing with right now. In the middle of the map, that keep is going to eat damage soon enough. Here comes ETC again, straight on for Chris. Already going for the siege tactics. Shiriondo is incredibly low, but the rest of the team is cut off, and Lauber is dying just before he gets his ult back. And he doesn't have it. He didn't have his ult. He didn't have Sanctification. And it was such a close call, but they still get the kill. That's the 4th kill for the red team. And with Lauber gone, they immediately look towards the boss and say, guys, we can take that. And they might be able to. I mean, you have 4 heroes against 5 right now, and they are still trying to stay close, but I think they have to let this one go, and they're retreating. It would have been a mistake to move in and try and claim it. They would have lost more heroes. And a 14-minute boss with hammer on your side, you can still take, especially since the wall at the bottom of the map is still there. Yeah, it's rough. It is getting really rough here for the blue team. It would be interesting, though. I mean, honestly, we have seen so many tournaments now in the HeroesHype Premier Series where at the end of the tournament, the Fanclub faces off against Washed Up. And this might be one of the few where we don't see that happening because the Porc9 is crushing it. They're crushing it here. The winner goes up against the Vikings in the next round. They're already moving back here. Tracer was looking at the side if something's happening, but they get through the wall. And every structure that you take down without the help of the objective is a big win for you. Because eventually you're going to outpace your opponent when it comes to structures that you want to eliminate here. And now we're having 19. There's level 19 on the board against level 18. And the opportunity to prepare for the next objective where we have the top and the bot lane activated. Yeah, I guess 20 is going to be ready for the two of them at roughly the same time. But this is just incredibly close what we're seeing here. And there we go. 30 seconds left. And that tiny window, that tiny little experience for the red team where they could maybe make a play with Storm Talents against their opponent. Yeah, over here there's still a bit of a poke. Keep them busy. Get the camp, keep them busy, get farther ahead. That's what they're doing. There's 20. Any second now. Camp is also taken on the left side. That's the moment of truth, and there's Siege Giant at the bot lane too. It's another deal. Big deal here. Siege Giants against catapults, catapults pushing in, ETC already sitting bot side. They're about to get their 20. Camps crushing against each other towards the top. And Greyman is going to the bottom of the map because he has to deal with the Siege Giants. There's the level 20 talents. And they take them. Get stuffed, baby. And also the Winter Mute, Kill Command, Shooting Star. ETC could go into the Deathmosh here. But yep, that keep is a goner. That keep is a goner. It's a perfect shrine for them to take. The perfect temple to claim. Because top lane, that keep is not falling. That keep is not falling. But now they have a chance to even get the second one in the middle. Porc9 is taking a serious lead here. But they go up against the Holy Arena now, against the Ultra Capacitators, Storm Shield, and last but not least, Contagion, of course, too. Another powerful talent to have. But yeah, this one is still in play. And they eliminated 2 keeps on the opponent's side. That's a problem. The Haka moved away, so there's no problem here. But damn, is the fan club in trouble now. They need a win. They need a team fight, and they need to dominate it. If they can do that, they can definitely still claim the game. I mean, top keep is low. You can always move through that one. ETC actually went into the crowd pleaser. Big area for the stage dive now, and the cooldown reduction. That one is secondary for them. They just want to make sure that they are able to connect with Hammer, I suppose. Yeah, but ETC is now just pushing pressure onto the bottom of the map. And so he should. I mean, they need to use that global, and they do. 17 minutes in, if the catapults arrive at the core, you can imagine how quickly those are taken down. And time is working in favor of Porc9. If they play that safe and use ETC to push out the side lanes, Tracer in this case too, because she has the mobility, then eventually they're going to get the lead here. Sherionto might have to move away from this one, but you can tell that the fan club is just saying, guys, we need to go for the attack. But here comes the combo, and nearly the kill against Lauber. Ancestral and the ult from Tyrael himself both go through. There's the arena. There's the power slide, though, as Mopsio just waits it out. The drag against him could seal his fate. He survives, though, but Henning is about to get wrecked by Tracer. He barely gets away here. But, oh my god, that is... Oh, the kill against Tracer! Is that the turnaround? Boss is up in 45 seconds. Not quick enough. Catapults at the bottom. Catapults at the top. Guys, their fight is on, and they get the second kill against Rexa. You got to be shitting me. You gotta be shitting me. I mean, seriously? Are you for real now? They get the 2 kills just as they need them. They get the cap and they want to go for the next kill here. Catapults are on the core on the other hand. And they're starting to take the shields down. The Haka is there and he's going to make the play. But Mopsio at the bottom of the map, he's pretty much abandoned. And they're going to lose him eventually. Or do they? Mopsio is on the run. Henning jumps in and Mopsio doesn't have the ult. No, 15 seconds. He's trying. He's buying himself a little bit more time. But the dog goes in for the kill and takes the cow down. Alright, more beef for him. 6 against 4. Keeps are all down. Keeps are all down. But Tyrande is dead. What is this? What's happening here? Both of the temples are now up. There's not a single structure left outside of the core, but they have the control and they get kill after kill. The ice block doesn't save Swamp Grotta for long. 8 kills against 4. If they get both of the temples, they might have a chance here. Rexa is back to business and this game is just getting bonkers. The Haka topside, we're now having in the middle the rest of the team just going straight in for the next one, and both of those keeps are going to fall. Both of them are going to be obliterated. Both down. Do they go for boss? Do they go for the core? What's the play here? Tai, oh god, are they going to catch him here? Oh, Tai gets locked down and he is dead. Tracer survives, is actually still alive and trying to run away here. Henning is on the chase though. Sherionto down, and that's a trade kill for a kill. ETC is back to business too, still has his ult up, and they're going again for the temples. 2 keeps down on the red team side. Porc9, they had it in their grasp. They were so close, and they might still win it. But it's all of a sudden an open game, and it seems like the last keep is gonna fall too. Yep, all the keeps are down. All the keeps in the game are gone. Mopsio gets away. It is dead even. It is dead even. The boss is up. You take the boss, you win the game. You take another temple, you win the game. You get a good backdoor position, you win the game. And with Tyrael on the other side and Greymane, if they ever get onto the core, they take it. This is insane. Porc9 looked so powerful there. But then they started the game of throws and now it's time for the boss. Guys, There's the jump. Straight into the boss stun. No, he actually dodges it. Ancestral is in, and Rhaegar goes down. Rhaegar down, Tracer on the move, they're making the play, they're getting the second kill. That's the Haka gone. A slide, a kill, Tyrael is dead, no ult by him, the boss is taken. This is it. This is game. A quad kill, and Porc9 moves in and says, fuck it, let's go for the team fight. And that was definitely the right choice for them. With 9 kills to 9, level 23 on both sides, they have the boss and they have the angle towards the core. They actually do what Washed Up couldn't do for so long. The fan club is about to lose the series. The fan club is about to be eliminated. The core attacked and they go down as Porc9. They lose all their keeps, but they're still able to fight back, and this is the end. A 2-1 victory for Porc9 as they claim the W against the fan club. GG and well played.